It's time to rack our chocolate covered cherry into secondary. Today we're only going from our little big mouth bubbler to our 1 gallon wide mouth fermenter. Wanting to have very minimal headspace. Not sure exactly what the total volume is that I'm going to get, but we will see that whenever it's done. So as always, enjoy a time lapse while I rack this and then proceed to back sweeten. Okay, so we racked it, and I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, but I did have quite a bit of waste. But I did that because I knew I was getting very close to the top here, and a lot of it was sediment at the bottom, but that's just the way it goes. You lose a little bit of product on every racking you do. But you can't see it right now, but off camera I have all of my jugs of honey, which have just a little bit of honey left in them, sitting in hot water. I'm doing that so it's easier to pour, and I need to use up all these partial containers. But I do know that this was sitting at 1.000 last we checked, and that was only a couple days ago. And I know this is going to need a lot of sweetness. I have had some people suggest putting a little bit of vanilla extract in to really accentuate the chocolate taste. That may sound counterproductive, but it actually does enhance the chocolate flavor. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to back sweeten. How much, I don't know. We're going to sweeten, stir it up, take a taste. If I don't like it, sweeten some more. So we're going to start with these partial containers of honey. As you can see, it's just a little bit of honey left. Now, generally, I like back sweetening with the same honey that was used for primary fermentation. And with this, it was pure and simple honey. I do have some pure and simple honey, but I'm also just trying to use up all the last of my partial containers, which that's pretty much, I'd say that's done. And like I said, I don't know how much I'm adding, but I know it's going to need a little bit. Heating that up really worked well. So now spoon's been sanitized, we're just going to stir. But since the honey was warm, like it was put in very warm water, or it shouldn't take very long at all to dissolve the honey since it was warm. I don't remember, I have to look at my notes. I don't remember where this sat at ABV wise, but I know that we use Lalvin K1B1116 yeast, which is an 18% yeast tolerance. I think it came out to close to 12%. So now that we've sweetened this, like I said in the previous video, this will ferment again. It's not if, it's when. So what we do now we take a taste and see what we're working with. I really don't think I'm gonna need to add vanilla. I mean, I may end up having to, who knows? But it's not as clear since we just back sweetened. But a lot of honey. I hope I didn't sweeten this too much. Needs more sweetness. Yeah, it needs more. It needs more. And I am using almost all of my partial honeys, and that is very, very, very close to the top. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just going to make me kind of nervous when I pasteurize. If you haven't degassed when you pasteurize, it releases all the CO2, so this could come up out of the airlock. Really hope it doesn't. I hope that little bit more honey got me to where I needed to be. I mean, I do get the chocolate, but I don't know, maybe I do need to add a little pinch of vanilla. So if it's not better after this addition, we're gonna put a half a teaspoon of vanilla in here and see what it does. I've heard that it helps the chocolate flavor come out. That's almost there. I am gonna put a lid on this real quick because I am gonna do it. I think I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of vanilla and see what it does. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got a half a teaspoon and some vanilla. Like I said, I smell the chocolate. I somewhat taste it. It's just not as pronounced as I'd like it to be. But I was getting scared of leaving it on the Crio Bru any longer because I've heard it can make things go bitter. So we're just gonna do a half a teaspoon of vanilla into a 1 gallon batch and see if all the rumors are true that vanilla will bring forward the chocolate notes. So we'll stir this up, but it seriously tastes like a cherry Tootsie Pop. 100%. That's what I get on the tasting of it. I didn't use my normal cherry juice for this. That's actually the one over here. You can't see it. There's a Viking blood going over there, and I actually used tart cherry juice. This was Nature's Blessed tart cherry concentrate. I'll put a picture right here of, and a friend of mine from work gifted that to me to try out. And this one, I think I diluted it too much. I don't remember the precise dilution ratio I did to it, but I think I went over a little over a gallon, and I didn't have enough concentrate. The cherry flavor is there. It's just kind of thin. Let's see if the vanilla did its trick. Let's see. Swirl. Doesn't smell much different. I get a lot of honey. Lot of honey on the nose, but I did add quite a bit of honey. But I found with tart cherry, you actually need to go a little over what you normally would put to back sweeten, just because the tartness of the cherry is so strong. You kind of need the sweetness to balance that out. But that's just my palate. That's my personal preference. But we are going to do a gravity reading on this before we pasteurize, so we have a baseline that we can check again before we bottle. But enough talking. Let's see what the vanilla did. I'll be goddamn. Wow. That is insane. You would never think that vanilla would bring out chocolate, because for some reason we think vanilla and chocolate are opposites, but they're both beans. That is insane. That is ready to pasteurize, and we're calling that one good. We're calling that one done. As always, thank you for watching and joining me in my basement so we can make up some pretty tasty brews. If you guys have any suggestions on something I should try, drop it in the comment section. If you don't, then I'll just keep coming up with stupid ideas to brew. But thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time.